You're listening to The Real with Rachel D on Atlanta's inspirational talk radio, Love 860. Hey everybody, and welcome to The Real with Rachel D. Happy Friday. I hope you guys enjoyed your week like we have. So, of course, we're going to talk about some celebrity hot topics, some crazy things that we found on social media, and, of course, some fun things to get into over the weekend here in Atlanta. I'm being joined by my super fabulous co-host, Miss BJ.
Hello.
And running in the runoff for the Clayton County Superior Court Judge, Miss Shana Rooks.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
We are super excited that you're here. We were just really pulled into the whole Clayton County elections, and we've learned so much. So we definitely want to get to you and to find out more about you and
Absolutely.
what you're doing. But first, we're going to do is celebrity news.
Okay.
So this past weekend, it was the BET Awards.
Yes.
So how was that? I didn't watch all of it.
It was interesting. Beyonce came in splashing water on folks. Her and Kendrick Lamar, she did her Freedom song. And her dancers came out to Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. So she really kicked it off nicely. So, I mean, you know, because she flew out right after. So it was really nice.
I did see the memes. They were very funny.
Yeah.
But on top of the Beyonce and Kendrick Lamar performance was the Prince tribute, which there was mixed reviews on that.
On Prince? Yeah. You know what? I've seen so many. At this point, I just think, you know, kudos to what they did. Jennifer Hudson came out doing Purple Rain. Bilal was out there with his pre-sewing hairstyle singing. I mean, I'm just saying. You know, Stevie Wonder, Tori Kelly, and Janelle Monáe. So I think they did a good job.
Yeah, well, they did better than, what was it, the Billboard Music Awards?
With Madonna.
Yeah.
Child, that was not cool.
Did you get a chance to watch the BET Awards?
I did. I saw some parts of it. I think I turned in when Jesse Williams was speaking. That's probably the
best.
That is
best.
What everybody is talking
They
about.
could have ended it after his speech. I mean, honestly. I mean, he was so inspiring, everything he had to say. I mean, and he really just called people to action. And one of the things I like that he said, if you don't have basically anything good to say, then just have a seat.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
And that's very true. And my favorite part, of course, is when he shouted out the black women and the sacrifices we make.
Absolutely.
Because it's true. Like, I don't know why we have the worst reputation, it seems. Like, people just, it's always something negative that people try to bestow on us. But it's like, no, we do carry this back on the world.
Absolutely.
The black man carries the world on his back, and we carry the black man on
Right.
our back. Like, we do a lot for the world and society.
And I tell a lot of people, I think African American women are the most supportive of any group of individuals ever on planet. And we don't get our kudos.
That's
Not
true.
at all. And I hate to be this way, but sometimes it's true. We don't get a lot of our kudos from our own men. So that's why to see Jesse, whom is not just a black man, he's a biracial black man.
Right.
So
Correct.
he could have went anyway, but he got a black woman, a natural,
hair,
down to earth,
gorgeous, beautiful black woman.
And through that, in his acceptance speech, like, I'm blown, like, favorite person. He was already he's fine.
Yeah,
but, you know,
yeah, he was.
And I really appreciate, I think people needed to hear that. I just wish they picked a better performer right after his speech. Because Future coming up there with that wiggy wiggy. Y'all. So, but I want to stay on this Jesse Williams high. I really appreciated what he said.
Well, I mean, not everybody was happy about it. I actually, you know what? I had a comment on Facebook. I commented on somebody else's racist comment, and you know, my comment was flagged and removed.
Really?
Okay, who wasn't happy about what he said?
Oh, and on TMZ, there's certain media outlets you can go to that's going to definitely show people's true colors. It was on TMZ, and they were like, it's interesting how he's talking about, you know, support black people and the murders that's happening to black people, but more black people, y'all kill each other more than anybody kills each other.
See,
And so I said something like, well, statistically, more white people kill white people. Just like, it's just an interrace thing. You know, you kill who you know.
Right.
But I said, you know, if more white people kill white people, then why are y'all afraid of us? And like, that's literally all I said.
Yeah.
And then I go on Facebook, this has been removed because it violates policies. But I'm like, this person I commented on just said, you know, you black people kill each other or something like that.
Oh,
that's crazy.
Unfortunate.
Yep.
The statistics, you know, sometimes can be blown up. But my thing is, I hate when something positive is always counteracted with something negative. Let's just take it for what it is and let it go from there.
Sometimes we do our own negative because you saw that Justin Timberlake got attacked on social media.
Yeah, he could have just.
I didn't see what his original comment was. I saw that he was attempting to apologize for offending somebody.
Yeah, it was something like he said that he had respect for Jesse for what he said, and then somebody else came out and said, then are you guys going to basically stop using our music and our type of culture? And then he came out and he said something about we're all the same people, or something like that. And it's like, that was the whole point of the speech.
Just let it ride, Tim. Timberlake, Justin, let it go.
All right, so moving on to another musician. Kanye West released a very controversial music video. Very controversial.
I mean, number one, how much money did he spend on all those wax dolls to look like those people?
What do you do with them later?
I mean,
isn't that weird?
I mean, maybe put a wig on top of their head so you have a big candle.
I bet he kept Kim's though.
But then as his wife, she's in that video as well, guys, laying there beside. I mean, how does she feel? But then she married him, so let me not even go there. So
let me show you how I feel like she has such low self-esteem, or she just knows that she's in a certain place in life. Because they did ask, but Beyonce and Jay-Z being like your close friends, why weren't they included? And Kanye straight up said, I have more respect for Beyonce than to do that to her.
Wow.
But you put your wife in there?
Exactly.
I didn't know he said that. That's awful.
Exactly.
So was Kim the actual Kim, or was she a wax figure?
I think she was a wax figure.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then again,
I mean, I think her butt looked too perfect.
so it was wax.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he has more respect for his friend's wife than he does his own.
Exactly.
The mother of your children.
Exactly. And Kim, I'm like, where is your brain? Like, I wish my fiance would say something. He cares about her more than me. Like, what do? You just sit there and allow this to happen? And then having one of the people, the wax figures, was your stepmama, daddy.
Right.
It's weird.
Yeah. Weird.
And then Ray J.
Next to you in bed.
Yeah.
Come on, that's disrespectful.
I saw that. That was kind of different.
Yeah, but people have been in awe, but there are a few people who are very upset. Chris Brown, he wasn't that upset. He just said, Kanye is trendy, but he is crazy. Ray J was very unhappy with the video, but he hasn't commented.
Was he one?
He was in there. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He was next to Kim, like laying right on the other side.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about Chris Brown? He was one as well?
Chris Brown was in there as well.
Oh, wow.
Next to Rihanna.
Yep.
So, but then Lena Dunham, or if you're not familiar, she's on HBO Girls. She is really, really extremely upset about the video because she said it's misogynistic and it's a disturbing artistic interpretation. So, but she's very outspoken anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of people are still like, what was he thinking?
Well, the name of the song was what? Famous?
Famous. And it's sad, the video is probably more popular than the lyrics of his song.
Exactly. Somebody need to reel him back in. I think it might even be too late
I do too.
to reel Kanye back in. All right, so moving on, we're going to skip around a little bit. The Orlando shooter. So apparently a gay lover of his, who is horribly disguised in his interview, is coming out and saying that the shooting was actually a revenge.
Yes, he had on, you're right, on Univision, Miguel, which he used to protect his identity, said that he met the Mateen on the gay dating app Grindr and said that they did have an on-again, off-again relationship and that the shooting was not about terrorism but revenge because apparently Mateen had hooked up with some Puerto Rican guys and one of them exposed him to HIV. So it was more about revenge than ISIS. So, I mean,
I don't know. I definitely feel like there's some truth to it because that's a lot for you to even be involved with a shooter like that. But at the same time, I'm thinking, when people run straight to the media about stuff, then I have to question that.
That's true.
Because it just happened a couple weeks ago. I'm not saying he hasn't talked to the FBI or whatever, but you wanted a disguise. So why did you even need to talk to the media? You could have put that statement out any other way.
Yeah. Well, he is currently under FBI investigation. I guess see if what he's saying is if there's any truth to it. So
I hope his wife needs to be charged.
Absolutely.
Like,
Well, I shouldn't comment on any of that. since
Right.
I'm running for judge.
Right.
I'll reserve those comments.
But it's very true. It's like, how do you, not only go to the store to pick up the gun with him, you drop him off at the location, and then you're texting him in
while
the midst
he's
of
doing it without alerting police.
What were y'all talking about? What could you possibly have been talking about?
I mean, and it's not like normal husband and wife talk. Like, I'm making meatloaf tonight, sweetheart.
She might have said that.
I mean, but
what time you gonna be done?
It's crazy because she knew about it and she had plenty of time to alert authorities to what he was going to do. Even if she thought he was playing, you can say, well, I think he may, and that's enough to get people out or get him some help or throw him in the lake, anything just to get him from doing this.
Yeah, but
it's
she
crazy.
says that she has a mental issue. That's why she didn't think, right? Something like that. I don't think so.
That seems to be like the go-to car for everybody.
That is, and the way I see it, and I might be very insensitive or very rude. I don't care. But if you have a mental issue that bad that's causing you to be that destructive, then you really need to go away. Like,
get some
you
help.
really do. Like, I don't think, and I'm not talking about the squishy, soft, crazy houses. Like, go to jail.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not gonna get any better. I feel like if it gets that bad, you don't need a soft sentence.
I hope they really get to the bottom of this because I do believe she should be charged.
Absolutely. All right, so moving on to some Atlanta news that hit. I'm actually I don't know how I feel about this, but allegedly VH1 and Mona Scott Young has fired the entire cast of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta.
Yes, they all got their pink slips,
Didn't
child.
know that.
They are all going to be first thing Monday morning. It's a holiday, though, sitting in the unemployment line because they Carly Red, Stevie J, Jocelyn, Mimi, Lil Scrappy. I forgot some of it's just gone. She wants to start over, and then she guaranteed that none of them will have a spinoff show. So she is currently holding auditions for other Atlanta celebrities to go on, but they're still going to continue Loving Hip Hop Hollywood and Loving Hip Hop New York.
I'm sorry, they had to have made somebody mad. Like, they have had to did something.
The entire cast?
The entire cast.
And Atlanta is the most viewed one. It has the best ratings.
I don't keep up with them. I have a friend who watches it all the time.
But I'm gonna be honest. It's been the last year or so. It's just been too violent and too outlandish. So I can actually kind of see it. I'm ready for something more positive.
Yeah, but not from Love and Hip Hop. Oh, that's what it is.
Well, it doesn't have to be Love and Hip Hop. It can be like love and accounting. I mean, I don't know, but something.
Yeah, good luck with that one, DJ.
I just want to see something where people aren't throwing fists and hair bundles. So.
Yeah, well, everything's alleged. I don't think anybody's confirmed anything. I don't think that, they might as well cancel the show. There's no point in recasting it. Just get rid of it. That's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it's true. We'll figure it out. Love and Hip Hop is still airing every Monday at 8 o'clock. I missed this past Monday. I got to follow up on that one. Anyways, guys, you're listening to The Real with Rachel D. I want you guys to keep it here. We have more show coming up. We have Avant, Don't Take Your Love Away.
All right. We are back with The Real with Rachel D, guys, and that was Lucy Pearl. So, guys, I am so pleased to be back. We got one of my favorite commissioners in the house.
Thank you.
Miss Shana Rooks and my homegirl, Miss Rachel D. Girl, what's going on?
Yes. So, Commissioner Shana Rooks, she's current commissioner of District 3, but she is running for the Clayton County Superior Court judge. It's in the runoff.
Yes, ma'am.
So, let's start by telling everybody more about yourself.
Okay, hi people. I have the awesome task of being Clayton County Commissioner for District 3. Have been serving in that capacity for the last 3.5 years. But as I tell many people, I'm just like everybody else in the community. I wanted to have a better community. Praying about who I could help be commissioner. God said, you go be commissioner. I said, wait a minute, Lord. I've worked in a number of campaigns. I never aspired to be a commissioner. And so I yielded and did that, and I won in 2012. And I feel like I've served wonderfully, and I've been very responsive to my constituents in District 3 and the entire county. So maybe a year or so, 2 years into it, I started getting a number of people, lawyers, judges, people who wanted better judges who say, hey, have you considered running for judge? I said, maybe in a few years, but right now I want to make sure all these other things I have going on in the county are fulfilled. But I would always say I'm going to pray on it. Mm-hmm. And if I can I go into my
sure.
spiel? It's not really a spiel, it's my testimony. I had an individual who I touch and agree with about a number of things. And she said, well, have you heard from the Lord? I said, no, I haven't. I was on my way into a very rural county for a hearing. She called me and she asked me. I said, no, but I'll call you back when I get out of court. I was representing a woman from the Dominican Republic. Her name is Myra. I won't tell you her last name. But Myra came to me because members of her church referred her to me, and she happened to be married to a guy who made a lot of money. They had a 6-year-old daughter, and they were fighting for custody. But she was brought to this country. She didn't speak English very well. She did not have an education in this country. She couldn't even drive. She didn't have a job. So immediately it was financial abuse because he bought everything, told her what to use the money for, and she didn't have a lot of resources. And I said, you know what, we'll get into court and get a temporary hearing so you can get the resources that you need. You'll get your temporary attorney's fees, you'll get temporary custody, you'll get temporary child support, and then we can go about it that way. Well, lo and behold, we have what's called a status conference or pretrial conference with the judge, and that's generally away from the public. Sometimes it's at the bench, but this particular day was in chambers. And so in chambers, we were the petitioner. So I told the court what we expected the evidence will show, and just to see how he would lean on awarding her some attorney's fees, child support, and all of that. Opposing counsel said, no, let's leave it the status quo. I'm thinking, status quo means she gets nothing. She's still in this very oppressed relationship. And the judge said, bailiff, picks up the phone, calls the bailiff. You know that means the police in court, right? I have been practicing for nearly 16 years at this point. I have never in my life had that experience.
Wow.
So as he's turning red-faced at me and I'm looking, saying, did you call the police on me? I was so stunned and shocked, and I felt like I couldn't be the advocate that she wanted me to be for her. And I literally had to go outside and gain my composure because I was about to cry because that never happens. You can't go off on a judge, right?
Right.
So I sit there, and she knew my spirit. She says, there's something wrong. I said, give me a moment. I'm trying to articulate in my best English for her so she could understand. She said, wait a minute, can I pray with you? She grabbed my hand. I said, sure. It gave me an opportunity to catch my breath. And she said, the Lord said, you run, you be fair. No. I said, what? She said, you be fair, you be judge. Wow. And I almost fell prostrate in the courtroom. And I said, Lord, you didn't almost have to put me in jail for me to get it. I got it. I got it. I'm going to do what you told me to do. So public service is just a faith walk for me. I know what I want from my elected officials. I know what I expect from them, and I just give them the same. I'm from a small town, Dublin, Georgia, and maybe it's how I grew up. Maybe it's the whole communal aspect of it or the family aspect of it, but I see everybody as a relative. I see everybody as somebody who needs the same thing I desire from an elected official. So that's how I am led to run for Superior Court Judge. I know some people say, why so soon? Why are you leaving? And trust me, I did not move immediately when he told me to move because I was very concerned about who would be in my seat. And I would always say, who gonna serve my people?
Yes.
And if you're not serving my people like I'm serving my people, I got a problem with you. And so I said, I sat on the back row because I have my community meetings. I will be sitting, because I expect them to continue to have those.
Yes.
I will be sitting on that back row, waving my little finger like, you better protect my people. Because that is, when I ran, I said, we have a job. I'm asking you to employ me for 4 years. This is my resume. This is who I am. If you like me, hire me. And if I haven't done a good job by you, at the end of my term, fire me. So that's how I became commissioner. That's why I'm led to run for Superior Court Judge. And that's why I will be the next Superior Court Judge, because God said it.
All right. Well, let me just ask you, for the people who don't know exactly what a Superior Court Judge is, what is that?
So you have, most people are familiar with criminal law, the felonies, murders, and things like that. Felonies are heard by Superior Court judges exclusively. Family law matters are heard by Superior Court judges exclusively. Now, civil cases like personal injury and those kinds of cases, they're heard by state court judges and Superior Court judges. Now, every county does not, have a state court judge. It depends on what the size is. Every county constitutionally has a Superior Court, so they may hear everything. But because of our population, we have a Superior Court and a state court. So the Superior Court judges hear felony cases. They hear all family law, domestic related adoptions, custody, divorces, all of that.
Oh, wow.
And we hear appeals from the magistrate court. We hear appeals from the probate court. We also hear tax appeals. If you're not happy with what the tax assessor is doing, you appeal it to the Superior Court. We hear zoning matters, eminent domain, county-related issues for which, I'm intimately aware of.
Yes.
Those are handled by the Superior Court judges.
Okay. Good, nice educational.
Yes, and just, I'm just putting that out there. Since she has been a commissioner, that's so much experience that she will be bringing
I love it.
to her position as Superior Court judge. So I'm just putting that out there. I'm just saying.
Well, BJ, you can speak from firsthand experience, being that you do live in her district.
Let me tell you something. I'm trying to keep it together now. This is my shero over here.
I love it.
But District 3 is my home, and I've been extremely, extremely excited to have Shana as our commissioner.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
But the thing is, the only place I would like to see her go is to that position.
Thank you.
Because she would still be there representing us. So
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So let's ask, something hit the AJC recently regarding Clayton County. Clayton County.
What was it, honey?
Y'all always in the news for some reason.
What was it?
But it was basically, it's being investigated for possible election fraud.
I heard
Yes.
that. I don't know who brought the allegation. I don't know what it pertains to, but I'm secure.
They said it was more the SD cards that
The
were
memory
inserted,
cards.
Okay.
in the election booths. A few of them were not properly handled.
So
Okay.
I'm thinking like a technical issue.
Yeah.
Not against any one person, but
I
definitely
see.
the handling of the equipment.
Okay. Well, I hope the state of Georgia properly investigates it.
I think part of it makes a little sense because one thing that BJ and I, we were texting each other as the results were coming up. It was just astounding the low number of voters.
Well, I have hired my fair share of consultants, and the low number, while it is unfortunate, it is what we expected.
Wow.
Because people are apathetic, and people still today feel like my vote doesn't count.
They do. Yeah. They really do.
And if you look back at when President Barack Obama was running, we had the highest turnout of any time anybody ran for would go vote for an elected official. We just didn't have that celebrity on the ballot.
Yeah.
Not the chairman, not the sheriff, not any other position. So that's where we are. We have to be concerned, people.
Yes, get out and vote.
Mm-hmm.
Well, can you tell everybody where they can find out more information about it?
You know what? This is going to be really funny. Normally at this point, I would tell you to go to my website. But as of Friday, it was hacked.
No.
Yes, honey. If you go to www.electshana.com, you will see that I no longer have a website. No. I've had the same website since 2011 when I ran for commissioner. It has been up until March when we qualified, and we just started having some little issues. And now it says my website is blacklisted. So I can't even take it to another hosting company. I've got to pay a large amount of money to get it repaired, to get it back up. So, but nothing can derail God's plan for your life, honey. So, y'all can reach me at 770-473-1989. That is my law firm phone number, and you'll get me. And if I'm not there, I'll return your call. Yay. But I have a law firm website as well. It's shanarooks.law.com, and just see all the great work that I do. And I am so thrilled for this opportunity. But yeah,
absolutely. And you're still on social media, right?
Yeah, Facebook. Thank you. Facebook, Twitter. We send everything out, even from our commission office. I want people to not have to reinvent the wheel. Don't have to look very far to get information from us. So yeah, we are on social media.
All right. That's Shana Rooks.
Yay!
Who's running for Clayton County.
Thank you.
Superior Court Judge.
That's right.
Miss BJ Shero.
Yes.
So guys, make sure you keep it here to The Brew with Rachel D. We have more show coming up, but up next is Little Kim, The Jump Off. Whoa. That was Little Kim, The Jump Off. All right, so I'm here with Miss BJ.
Yay.
And running for Clayton County Superior Court Judge, Miss Shana Rooks is in the house.
Hello, people.
Almost former Clayton County District 3 Commissioner.
Oh.
I know.
But I'm going to fulfill all my responsibilities until December 31st. We're going to have a really nice party.
Yay.
If I could just say this, we're going to have a STEM fair this last Saturday in July. Wow. In order for me to give free backpacks to kids, I said, look, you got to come to the STEM fair. We often hear about science, technology, engineering, and math, and how our African American kids are not being pushed into those areas. Don't be lawyers, honey. We don't make any money. Go into STEM, and that's what I wanted to do. So, in order to entice them to participate, I have about 8 companies who will be out there. We have food trucks. They're going to have an opportunity to have a lot of music and fun fair, but it's also about education.
Yes.
So I told them I wanted to go out with a bang. I want to make sure people knew I was here, even for my 4 years. So yes, the last Saturday in July, South Clayton Rec Center, STEM Fair.
We're going to be there.
All right. Okay, so now's the time we talk about the craziest stories that we found on social media.
Yes.
Some are social media based, some are news based, but they all just jumped up on my Facebook page, so we have to talk about them. This one is one of the craziest ones. It has made a lot of national news, has been on Ricky Smiley, The Breakfast Club. There was a woman who was jailed for beating her son after catching him burglarizing a house.
Both her sons.
Both her sons. So she didn't beat them to the point where they were almost dead. Like, it was just kind of a discipline.
She gave them a good old Alabama butt whooping.
Yeah.
And the 13-year-old called the police and said, my mama whipped me with an electric coat.
Really? Is that how it happened?
So, and so what happened was the oldest son told child services, he called and said that he got whipped with electric cord. And police came over and took her away.
I haven't gotten whooped with that before.
You
live?
A bell, electric cord, switch, house shoe.
A comb.
Yeah.
A
Comb.
brush.
I got whipped with a shower cap. My mom said, you better cry and act like it hurt. I said, she done lost her mind, Lord.
But I don't get it with society and people having an issue with people disciplining their kids. To me, looking back at my butt whoopings, they weren't traumatizing. In fact, they're kind of funny. Like when you talk about them as an adult, but it helped to, create a good person, a good child. I care about the consequences. So I really think about my actions. And so she caught him in the act of burglarizing.
Yes.
What if the homeowner was there with a gun?
With a weapon,
Then what?
exactly.
Right. Or what if a police officer had gotten there before she had?
Exactly.
So I feel bad. And like she said, she felt bad. But what makes her feel better is just like our conversation now. She said she's received an outpouring of support for her actions. And she said, thank you from the bottom of my heart. In this day and age, I see so many babies getting killed. And she would rather whoop her kids because she refuses to look at her babies in the coffin. So she'll whoop again. She whooped and she will whoop again. But it's out of love.
Exactly.
It's out of love.
She needs to have that T-shirt on.
Yeah.
I like that. Remember the mother from the Maryland or the Baltimore riots that was
Yes.
That's exactly who that is. And it's nothing wrong with it. Like could get and even for the little boy, like you're how crazy are you to call the police and say I got disciplined for the crime I was committing? Like, if the police wanted to show, I think this would have been a good parenting act for the police. You should arrest the little boys. Like, show them that crime does pay, and it's going to be harder and more painful than your mom taking a switch to you or whatever, extension cord. So, and then how do you call the police on your mom?
These kids, to take these days when you whoop them, you got to take away their phone.
You did something wrong.
Yes.
Exactly.
Like the gall.
I would have whooped him, canceled Wi-Fi, got through the game stations out the window, and canceled cable. Now what?
But no, I did hear that the community has come together to help her
to
out.
Support her.
A local bail bondsman woman had bailed her out, and so but she does still have that felony
on her. Yeah,
it'll get dismissed properly.
I hope so. So yeah, moving on. Now, BJ, I love this. This is right up my alley.
Spice Girls.
Yes. So a Texas woman wakes up from jaw surgery with a British accent. Yes. That's like my dream.
It's a very rare medical condition. It's called they could have came up with a better name. Foreign accent syndrome. There was only 100 cases reported in the U.S., but she went in for a very simple jaw surgery to the dentist, and when she awoke, I can't even do a fake British accent.
Let me see if I can do one. Do I sound like I'm from Britain? Do I sound like I'm from London?
Yeah.
I like to watch the Spice Girls. And they are coming back, regardless of what Patrick said.
But this woman is from Texas. Born and raised, and what's so funny, she sounds exactly like she was born and raised in England. Now, her husband, at first, he thought it was weird. Now he just gets a kick out of it. The whole family is they find it hilarious because for the rest of her life, this is going to be her accent.
That is so strange. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah. I don't know.
And she sounds amazing on her interviews on the news. I mean, she really sounds like a born and raised British person. So
My question is, does it pick what random accent you get, or is
No.
it like how does it pick a British accent?
And it's so weird because it's a neurological thing. So she's gotten the CT scans, and it's just something that happened with the sleeping gas, and she woke up British. So
That
it's
is
amazing.
my dream right there. I love it.
Don't go getting all kind of dental work done now,
Are
Rachel.
you sure? Look, you don't think I need a little plastic?
No,
surgery on my
you're
jaw?
good. You're good.
I would love that, but no, I think that's just the craziest thing. I don't know. I kind of don't believe that. Just because it's like, what makes the British accent? Though? You're in Texas. It has a big Hispanic community. Why didn't you get like a Latina accent?
You know what would have been hilarious for this, like all-American white lady in Texas to get an African accent. She said, "Oh my goodness, my husband, I cannot believe I went to get my teeth worked on and now I sound like I am from Ghana." So, I mean, that would be, now that right there, I would be impressed.
Oh, yes. Or if she got real hood.
Well, see, that's not an accent.
Kind of.
Well, it depends on what side of the country you're from. Because I can't understand, the texting, and I think that's
interesting.
just...
People from here, because my fiance does it. He told me when he went to Baton Rouge to go to school, they would tell him that he wouldn't finish his words. Like he would cut the word off or something, and I kind of realize it too. Like the last couple letters of the word just doesn't exist, and he's like, people in Atlanta talk like that. It's like
We cut our words off here.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm born and raised from Alabama, but
What part?
Huntsville.
Ah!
So I'm from, and the way I speak versus the way my mama talk, oh child, it is completely different.
Yeah,
So we have, it's, and then too, the southern, like Savannah, like that real slow southern drawl. I love, like Gone with the Wind. So yeah, how come she couldn't get that accent?
I don't know. But I do want that British accent. Anyways, moving on. So this one made me laugh, and it's so stupid.
Which one?
The 20-year-old teacher.
I'm so tired of this.
Okay, so it's a crazy epidemic of teachers messing
Female
with
teachers.
young students.
Oh,
She is a 20-year-old karate instructor. There was no physical contact, but she was sending nude pics and inappropriate text messages to the 11-year-old. And it was so sad he kept turning her down.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's the funny
He kept
part.
saying, "No thanks." I mean, come on.
No, you like my mom. No, thank you.
No thanks, lady. And she kept doing it continuously to the point where he had to tell his mom.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bad to even do that.
Like
Yeah.
the last text the police showed was like, I don't care. and that was in response to a naked picture she sent him. I mean, so it's on record.
That's embarrassing, yeah.
Ain't that crazy?
That is. Like, it's wrong all around, but you would expect a young boy to be excited, but he's like, I don't care.
no.
About it. You're 20.
Yeah.
You should be like the best or whatever. I don't want to get into it. Embarrassing.
Isn't that crazy? No, thank you. So at least he was polite. So, but I'm just so tired of seeing that, these professional women messing with these prepubescent young men. Just, let them grow up. Leave them alone. Do your job. Go home.
And 11, ew.
Yeah, and that's what he thought. He was like, no thanks. I don't care.
Did they start liking girls at 11?
These days they're so into their technology.
Right.
I think he needed a few more years.
Yeah.
Because right now he's just like, dude, no thank you. So,
Oh,
I mean, she got rejected by an 11-year-old.
11-year-old.
So
I know.
she almost got obsessive with it. She kept doing it, so.
Maybe, I don't know. Okay, so we have one more. What is it, BJ? You had a special one you want to add in.
So recently, a 20-year-old pregnant Wendy's worker was assaulted, pulled through the drive-through window and beat by customers because she forgot to put straws in the bags for their drinks. She was pregnant, 20 years old. She forgot to put the straws in the bag, so they went through the drive-through. They came back, pulled her through the drive-through, and beat her. She's okay. Pregnancy is still all right. But, now they're saying they need, more security at that location.
Over some straws in the bag?
Now, I know we've all had someone miss, like, some ketchup or a straw for your drink. But, I mean, they took it to the extreme. They pulled you through the drive-through over 2 straws.
They could have gotten out of their car and walked in and got 2 by that time.
Yeah, I could
know,
have just
all that
asked her,
energy.
ma'am, you forgot my straws. They don't have to put their hands on anyone.
Yes. So now they're in jail, or should be.
Well, they are looking for them. They did capture their license plate number, so no charges have been found yet because they are still looking for the straw drive-through bandits. So
Maybe they had a personal issue with her.
well, you know what? You never know. She might have done this before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
She
mean,
was
you know how I feel
cereal.
about
a
my
cereal.
You know how I feel about my iced coffee.
Yeah, Rachel has them
I
scared
love
at her
iced
coffee
coffee.
place.
I do, and you know when they make it wrong, because you know it's supposed to be a certain type of taste to it, and then when they just throw it all together, it just kind of ruins it.
Yeah, Rachel has them afraid. Wherever she gets her iced coffee from, they're on the lookout for her.
No
What's
kidding.
your favorite?
The caramel iced coffee. From
I love
McDonald's.
it. Caramel
Yes.
macchiatos?
Mm-hmm.
No,
Or
just the,
okay,
iced coffee.
the iced coffee.
There was one time, twice, I drove to my regular McDonald's, and she was about to hand me the drink, and then she pulled it back, and they remade it.
Yeah, they saw it was
Oh,
her.
that's
Yeah.
her. Oh,
Yeah. So that's kind of good, but now I'm afraid. I'm like, I don't want to be one of the people you gotta, do something to my drink because I keep bringing it back. But I feel it's simple instructions. It consists of like 4 things: ice, coffee, cream, and sugar. How you manage to mess that up, I'm not even sure. But if I have enough time in the morning, I will sit there and let you remake it. Because it starts your day off.
It
And I'm normally
does.
not that picky with stuff. But
Yeah.
I'm like, it starts my day off. And then especially with the whole, we need $15 an hour, minimum wage. I want to get into that. But I'm like, whenever my coffee's made wrong, that's exactly what I think about.
right.
But when it's made right, though, I'm like, you deserve it.
So, well, if anything, it will, maybe encourage better customer service.
I agree.
So, yeah.
All right, so that's all for the WTH social media. Just crazy things. And these stories, by the way, Shana, are true.
Which
They
is
are
so
true.
sad. Truth is so strange. Much stranger than fiction.
I'm going to have to go look some of this stuff up. It's so crazy.
They are true.
It's crazy. But, guys, coming up next, we got Tinashe featuring Schoolboy Q. All right. We are back, and that was Tinashe, 2 on featuring Schoolboy Q. Guys, we are back with The Real with Rachel D, and we are here with Superior Court Judge candidate, Miss Shana Rooks.
Hi, guys.
And Rachel.
Yo. All right, guys, so it's time to wrap up the show very, very soon. But before we do, we have to get to Miss BJ's hashtag of the week.
All right, guys, my hashtag of the week is in the queue of our good old friend, Miss Medea from Tyler Perry. So it's hashtag sit down somewhere. And hashtag sit down somewhere is basically the term given to someone when they have nothing of value to add other than shade and ill remarks. So you just tell them to find yourself a place somewhere and have a seat. It may require that you have several.
I love it.
So and repeat as needed. So
Wait, tell me again what's the hashtag?
sit down somewhere.
Sit down somewhere.
Yeah, which is
Okay.
what, some people need to do.
I like that. We had a little off the record conversation just about life and, people who just want to bring you down.
Yes.
And I don't understand it. It's like, beating me up is never going to make you better than me if you
Absolutely.
have to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, destroying other people's property
Exactly.
is not, sit down somewhere.
Exactly.
If you are that offended, or maybe I'm helping you get your game up. If you can't help me, I'll sit down somewhere.
Right.
Exactly. So, but it's kind of a good thing. I always look at the bright side of it. It's like if you have to be on that end of things, I've already won. If you
Okay.
got to do all that,
Absolutely.
I've already won. So, all right, hashtag sat down.
Sit down somewhere.
Sat down somewhere, Miss BJ.
You may see that on my social media tonight.
Hey.
Should.
I think I'll use that.
Okay, so it is time to wrap up the show, but before we go, we want to give you guys some things to get into this weekend. It is 4th of July weekend, so ladies, what are the plans?
I'm going to be in a parade on Saturday in downtown
Ooh.
Jonesboro.
Oh, wow.
I think I'm going to take my dog, Smokey. Shout out to
Cute.
Smokey.
You should.
So yeah, I'll be there Saturday, and then just campaigning.
Cool beans, Miss BJ.
I'd probably, I don't know, catch a movie, eat some barbecue, encourage people in District 3 to vote.
That's right. And all over the county.
All over the county. Come on, people. I need my neighbors. I know you're listening. Let's get out there and make some changes.
All right, sounds good. And I will be in Fort Worth, Texas, visiting my family for the 4th of July.
Yay.
Excited with that. But for the people who will be in town, there are tons of things to do. Of course, it's 4th of July, one of the biggest holidays there is. So if you're in the Stone Mountain area, they're going to have a huge, spectacular laser show and then fireworks. Every evening is called the Fantastic Fourth Celebration at Stone Mountain Park. And it is free except for parking. The Braves, of course, you can't miss out with baseball, beer, hot dogs, and fireworks. So they're doing something special on that tonight. And actually, if you go on events12.com, it looks like basically everybody from the aquarium to Centennial Park are having their own fireworks and 4th of July celebration.
Yes.
So go to events12.com for more information and for more events. And it's time to wrap up the show. So we want to thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. You guys have been so fun. I have to come back.
Yes, we would love for you to. Can you tell everybody again where they can find out more information about you?
Well, it won't be my website, right? So,
Right.
so let's direct people to my law firm website. That is shanarookslaw.com. My law office number is 770-473-1989. And you can find me on Twitter, Facebook at electshana.com.
All right, Ms. BJ, any last words?
Sit down somewhere, guys. Make sure you use it. Let people know where to go. And if they need more than one seat, tell them to have several.
All right. Well, thank everybody for listening to The Real with Rachel D. We'll be here again next week, same time, same place. Ms. BJ, take us out.
All right, guys. We got coming up next, Verse Simmons, Boo Thang featuring Kelly Rowland.
And when I'm with you, it's like our heartbeats are in tandem.